Good morning. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast. My name is Josh Ashley, a member here and your service leader this morning. The Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of the Emerald Coast is a religious community united by UU principles and committed to service, spiritual growth, and caring fellowship. At our best, we strive to be a welcoming community, to enrich each other through our diverse backgrounds, and to be willing to be changed by one another. You'll find more information about Unitarian Universalism on the back of the order of service. Announcements are listed towards the end in the bottom right corner, and I believe Amy has a special announcement.
Okay, so my announcement is about all across the back wall of the sanctuary. So the first thing is, you see that thermometer kind of looking thing? That's our pledge drive. And Judy's not here, so I'm being Judy and saying that if you have...
At least with our escapist fantasies, we get to decide where we escape to. I can, at any moment, choose to watch the Muppet movie, the first one, and be treated to a true work of art, a labor of love made by a bunch of weird, talented people. But there is agency in that. I'm choosing to engage in art and culture, which is a good thing, I think, in general, as long as we don't watch the Muppet movie every day, all day. Though it's a good candidate for that, I think. No, the attention economy is an entirely different beast. The idea may be simple enough, but its impacts have been profound. Our society is changing faster than it ever has, hurtling towards more and more division and isolation. You see, the thing about attention is that by its nature, it is a finite thing. In a day, we only have so much time. And in our lives, too, we only have so many years. And this is the problem for all of the myriad companies and corporations that want our attention. There's only so much of it to go around. So they compete for your attention by creating content, that's their word, content, that is emotionally manipulating. They serve you things to be afraid of, or to obsess over, or to fall in love with, or to be disgusted by. Any way that they can make you feel. All the old tricks of advertising are here, like sex sells, but also thrown in with all these new and insidious ways to snag and keep our attention. There's a never-ending slurry of content. The best example of this is something like TikTok or Facebook or any service that has now centered around a personal feed, a scrolling feed of media. These systems were designed to addict us to these products. Full stop. To keep our attention where they want it. And this, what they do, is more akin to yelling fire, like the example from before, and a lot less like watching a good movie or playing a fun game. We're pulled this way and that by advertising, by gossip, by political pundits, by fear-mongers and grifters, and by every new piece of shiny junk to purchase. When our minds are on consumption, we aren't thinking about what we have, but what we don't. We forget to be thankful in the moment, and often forget to think of others. When our minds are too often on politics, we start to see things as just black and white. We fall into us and them modes of thinking, and the constant stress and fear keeps us locked in to an uncertain and anxious future. When our minds are on celebrities and gossip, we fail to see the great people of our own community. We forget that the connections that matter, are the ones between us and our neighbors. And we measure ourselves up to beauty standards that are unrealistic and toxic to begin with. And these devices, they certainly can give us an unending stream of stress and worry. What can even begin as a bit of harmless escapism can quickly turn into something less healthy or wholesome. I had to meditate on this myself and do a lot of self-reflection when writing this, I must say. I realize how often I use my own phone to stave off small moments of boredom. I became so used to being able to escape into my phone that I was less and less living my life in the present. And the thing about boredom is that we need to be bored sometimes. We need to have moments when we don't do anything. You see, something really cool happens in that void. We, humans, can't help but start to create. Our imaginations activate, and before you know it, you're dreaming, inventing, creating. The problem is that we have this revolutionary entertainment device, the internet in general, all the streaming services you could ever ask for. There's so much to fill our lives with. There's always another news article to freak out about or to argue on social media with your relatives. Don't do that. It's a waste of time, I promise. There's always another trend to chase or another fashion statement to crave. There'll always be another show to binge, I promise. But that reality that I'm describing, that may be the train that we're on right now, but we can get off. We can turn the phone off and we can go outside. We can touch grass, as the kids like to say. And you know what will happen when we do? We'll find the world outside is filled with interesting people, places, and things that will fill you with even more wonder than any of our escapist fantasies. And in that void of entertainment and media will come new ideas, new ways to live with each other, new ways to love each other, creative solutions to end oppression, to heal humanity. And you will find others too who want to create that world with you. And this is another curious thing about us humans, is that when we work together, we can become superhuman. 1 and 1 and 1 can make 10, and so on. And this is something I've personally learned recently from playing in a rock band. By myself, I cannot make rock music, but with a guitarist and a bassist and a drummer adding to my piano playing, make something more than we could make separately. How much more true is that for a faith community like ours? Since 2011, my family and I have occasionally spent time at rainbow gatherings. You may have heard me mention these gatherings before, but they're basically campouts for hippies that started in the 70s, a sort of anti-protest where instead of shouting in the streets, the Rainbow family, as we like to call ourselves, decided to build little temporary villages of love and peace in national forests across the country. And this still goes on, as they have for since 1972, except during COVID. At these gatherings, there is no electricity, no internet, no cell service, and certainly no digital media of any kind. And the further I get away from that experience, the more I find myself deeply engulfed in the messy information age, the more I am thankful to have had this unplugged time in my life. And so what do people do all day when they're unplugged? They play music for each other. They make art on the side of mountains. They do yoga in vast meadows. They teach, they listen, and they learn. And at night, they drum and they chant and they sing and they pray. And in each moment, we are reminded that together we are stronger. And there is also an old taboo that I like against mirrors, which I found quite curious until my wife, Rachel, there she is, hi, who is often quicker than me to get to things, explained that without mirrors, the faces that we see day to day become our reflection. We begin to see ourselves as the people we love around us. And instead of escapism, we live with each other in the moment. It's this kind of consciousness that I pray for you in the coming years. I believe that the only way to get through this great big mess that we find ourselves in is to look up from whatever we've been distracted by, to walk outside again, to meet each other face to face. And in so doing, I pray that we may explore creative new solutions to age-old problems. I pray that we may see ourselves in the eyes of those around us. And I pray that together we may forge a pathway toward a better world. May it be so, and amen.
Please rise and bow your spirit for hymn number 128, For All That Is Life. That which is worthy of doing, create with your hands. That which is worthy of repeating, speak with a clear voice. That which is worthy of remembering, hold in your hearts. And that which is worthy of living, go and live it now. All right. Please stay for the postlude and then join us for refreshments and second hour activities.
turn it on for just a second? Hello. I should have